Hello, hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Lisa, aka Diamonds and Stitches, and today is a Wip and Sip on this gorgeous canvas. It is called Dreamcatcher Wolf, and it is a Diamond Art Club painting. I'm going to show you the picture. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. It is a round with ABs, 42 by 57. It's absolutely gorgeous. I am doing this painting with a few other creators, Allie Craft Pursuits and Kiss My Crafts. And then we had a new gal who wanted to join, and her name is Jessica. I don't believe that Jessica has a YouTube channel yet. I'm hoping that she will get one though, because she cross stitches, and I'm a cross stitcher. Maritza also is a cross stitcher, but not anymore. And she also crochets. Both Jessica and Maritza Kiss My Crafts. So Jessica, get a channel, girl, so we can see your awesome stuff. But we originally, there were three of us, Allie, myself, and Maritza, and we were going to do this canvas for October. That was kind of the, let's finish this by October. I was never going to finish it in October. It was really who could finish it by October. Yeah, well, I was never going to get it done by October. I am a slow diamond painter, and yeah, so I was never going to get it done. The other gal started before I did, and then Jessica wanted to join. Well, she's from Sweden, and her painting went to the wrong post, I guess, and got sent back, and so it's back on its way to her. So we extended the date until November, thank goodness, because maybe I'll get it done by November. Now, Kiss My Crafts, Maritza, has already done hers, and I noticed yesterday that she uploaded a video of it being done. So yeah, way to go, Maritza, you little overachiever, you. You're supposed to wait for me. But anyways, I kind of started this. I've been doing it a few nights, and then I put it away because I was concentrating on my drills and chills, as well as my Seahawks collab. And I've been doing some cross stitch again as well, because I picked up a couple of my Halloween pieces. So this is a beautiful piece. It's a very fast stitch, you guys. I'm going to turn on my light pad. So let's whip and sip. I don't know what we're going to talk about today. I really don't. But let's whip and sip together. So grab your craft. Grab your drink. It is still morning for me, so I'm doing some coffee in my ever-present, almost Seahawks green cup. And let me see what color I'm going to do, because I have no idea what I have a lot of here. I have a lot of that one. What is that one? Let me see here. All right, guys. So what should we talk about today? I don't know. I just had the Sears guy come and fix my fridge. So I don't know if I mentioned this in any other video, but my fridge is just about 3 years old, maybe. Yeah, I think it's just about 3 years old. And I came home after spending the weekend at Sean's house, and came home and my house smelled horrible. Now, you know that I've got the two dogs, and they're not, two of them are old, and their health is failing, especially the one. And we have been babying him along, and so I thought, oh my goodness, he had a very large accident, and it was late at night when I got home, and so maybe nobody noticed. And so I was like, oh goodness. And so I went down and checked him out. No, he's fine. And so I'm like, golly, what is that smell? But I was so tired and starting to not feel good. And so I went to bed. And I got up the next morning, so Monday morning, and I went to go and get her pancakes, because she loves these pancakes. And they were mostly thawed. And I was like, and I opened up my freezer, and you know, the ice cream sandwiches and stuff were all melted in one of the trays. And I'm like, dang it, those kids, you know, that they left the door open to the freezer. And um and so everything was fine. And I checked out the pancakes. Now, there's a long story to the littles' food issues, which I won't go into, but I checked out the pancakes. They were mostly thawed, but still pretty cold, and they were going in a toaster oven to get killed anyway. So, you know, and I really didn't want to have to deal with the meltdown that was going to happen if she didn't get her pancakes and we were not prepared. And so I put those in, and I went to go and get her lunch out of the fridge, and the fridge smelled horrific. And I'm like, dang, what the heck? And so I'm like, damn, something in there, you know, really rotted, like gross. And so I get her lunch kit out, and I notice that it's not cold. And I'm like, oh my goodness, my fridge. There's something wrong with my fridge. So my guy, who is a appliance tech, I call him up and I'm like, hey, so I think my fridge is broken. And then he goes on a mini rant about LG and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, hey, are you gonna be in my area? And he's like, yeah, honey, I can't fix it unless you have an appointment. You know, you have to call. He works for Sears. You have to call Sears and make an appointment, and, you know, have tech come out. You can request me, but you know, you have to make an appointment. I can't fix it, or we'll make the warranty null and void. And I'm like, okay, fine. You know, so he suggested a couple of things to see if he pretty much knew what it was. They've been seeing it all over the place. And so you know, he suggested a couple of things for me to do to see if it would fix it. And it didn't. And so long story short, of course, my daughter and I had bought a ton of groceries between the two of us that week. And so of course everything we had to throw out, absolutely everything. And so, and of course I missed garbage day by a day. So I was like, all right. So I call, you know, make an appointment. The earliest they can come is basically a week from the day that I called. So the guy comes this morning, and, you know, I had been told to unplug my fridge and then, you know, prop the doors open so that you don't get mold, right? Because this is a tip, guys. If you ever have an appliance that you don't use for a while and you unplug, make sure that you leave whatever it is, a wash machine, dryer, the door ajar, because, you know, mold will grow in moist places. And your fridge is moist, your wash machine is moist, and actually so is your dryer. So even though it heats up and everything, it can still grow some mold in there. So especially around the seals. So anyway, you know, it's unplugged. So he looks at me and he goes, well, it's unplugged. And I'm like, yeah, it's been broken for over a week. And, you know, and he's like, well, who told you to unplug it? And I'm like, well, the guy on the phone. He is like, ding those people. Well, now I can't diagnose it. And I'm like, well, plug it back in. Like, so anyways, you know, we go back and forth, and he plugs it in and he does a couple of diagnostic tests, and we're pretty sure that it's the piece that my guy had told me about. And so he puts all of his, you know, little electronics up to it and everything, and he's about to do something, and the little part breaks off of the testing thing, and it starts leaking Freon. So so he's like, well, I can no longer test the compressor because, you know, the part broke, but he says it's definitely like you don't have a leak in the compressor because it is filled with the gas, and which is now all leaking out because that part broke. And so he's like, so I guess we're just gonna diagnose it as, you know, it's this part, and and come on. And you know, replace it. And I'm like, cool. And he says, but I don't know if there's any other parts that might be broken. And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. I can tell you that the lights were still on. The ice maker made it sound like it was trying to make ice, and you know, the alarm still sounded and everything. So whatever, you know, that part, it, you know, goes to, those obviously are working. It's just the freezer doesn't get cold, and the fridge is not cold, and the ice maker is not making ice because there's no water going through. And he's like, okay. And he goes, and I so happen to have a compressor on my, or this part on my truck, and so, you know, okay. So we get it all done, and it took him forever, and he was here for 2.5 hours. And but hopefully I now have a new part. My fridge does not sound the way that it normally does, and I said to him, you know, is it supposed to sound like that? Because that is a horrific sound. I hope you guys can see this. That's a horrific sound. Not, and I don't know that I've heard that noise out of it before. I've heard the hum, but that higher pitched noise. And he goes, well, that's your fan. And yeah, you're always going to hear that. And so he opens the door to my fridge, and of course the fan stops. And I'm like, no, I get that it's a fan. It just doesn't have that high pitched sound to it. And he goes, oh no, sounds completely normal to me. Okay. So when Sean comes over one weekend and spend some time here, or actually once my fridge is, you know, fully back to cold, and maybe the fan is not having to work as hard, you know, to get it going and make everything cold again, we'll see if it stops making that noise. I just remember my fridge being a lot quieter because, you know, my house, when nobody's in it, is very quiet, and I don't typically hear my appliances running with a high-pitched squeal, which is actually very annoying. So somebody might be coming back out to fix that. And I'm not normally a complainer, you guys, you know, like I just, okay, well, the part got fixed, and, you know, everything's good, and I'm going to have my fridge again. Yay, you know. But the noise, those kinds of noises drive me crazy. So anyways, when Sean comes over one weekend and he is here, we'll see if he notices that it sounds off, and whether or not somebody is going to have to come back out and fix it. But I tell you what, you guys, it's really amazing when, you know, you get so used to having something like, you know, I have been without, well, that's not true. Because I have a big family, like I have 4 kids, and so there were 6 of us, you know, plus the dogs. For quite a long time, my dogs were fed this meat concoction stuff, and it came by, it got delivered in a cooler, a styrofoam cooler, every couple of weeks on my door. And so it had to be frozen until, you know, you took out a package and unthawed it and fed it to your dogs. And seriously, at one point, I think that they were fed better than we were. And the dogs are so spoiled, you guys. My dogs are so spoiled. And so funny story. Yesterday, my son had to buy dog food for his dog. And he texts me and he goes, this dog is breaking me. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I went and bought Odin some food, $158 later. Well, that's just 2 bags of food for Odin because they're fed really good food. And I said to him, yeah, but it lasts like, you know, a month. Well, more than that now because he is at full grown. And so he doesn't, He doesn't get as much as he did when he was a puppy, but he still eats 4 cups of food a day, almost 4 cups of food a day. And he is like, yeah. And I'm like, welcome to the real world, because he just started paying for his own dog's food, you know, once he got a job. And I was like, yeah, so now you get to pay for your monthly dog. We put them on a vet plan. So the monthly vet plan and your dog's food, because, you know, his sister and I were buying it. And I was like, yep, now you've got a job and you're finished school. So guess what you get to do? Welcome to adulthood. He's like, yeah, my dog's breaking me. I'm like, dude, seriously. But yeah, okay. So anyways, back to my fridge story. Had a moment there. Sorry, guys. So having the large family and then the dog food and everything, I had a full upright freezer and a full upright fridge in my garage. And after my divorce, you know, and one of my kids moved out, and there was only a few of us, and we just didn't, you know, we didn't need, and the dogs aren't fed like that anymore. And so I was like, you know, we just don't need this fridge and freezer anymore, and we can really use the space in the garage. So I sold them, but they were also kind of our backup if anything went wrong with the fridge. Well, wouldn't you know it, no, I sold them after the fridge. I bought a new fridge. So once I bought the new fridge, I sold the full fridge and freezer, and some guy came and he was ecstatic because it was going in his barn and for his animals. So he was ecstatic. And you know, because I figured, well, for new fridge, you know, I'm good. Yeah, 3 years later, here I am. So, you know, you get real spoiled. Well, then long story short, fridge is broken. We need, you know, the little must have her pancakes. And, you know, we got away with a couple of days of cereal, but cereal is a snack for her, not breakfast. But we managed to pull that out because she understood, you know, the fridge was broken. And, but, you know, we still need, you know, a fridge. So I went to Costco and I bought a little bar fridge and fridge and freezer combo thing. And so that's what we've been using for the last week, basically. And it's good. And now we'll move it downstairs and use it in our family room once I get it situated. And so it's more, I mean, we're so lazy. Anyway, it's amazing how you get used to something, and then when it's not there, you're like, okay, what do I do? Oh my gosh, what do I do? You know, you need a fridge for milk, or, you know, if you have medications, or, you know, like my little, who we struggle to feed her, and so there's limited things that she eats, and most of it is either freezer or fridge stuff. And you know, and then there's still lunches. Like, I can't buy her school lunch because she's gluten and dairy intolerant, and so she's celiac basically. And unfortunately, the school system does not cater to a gluten-free lunch, and so we have to make her lunches every day and her snacks and everything. And so, yeah, you know, it becomes kind of important to have that. And then here's my other thing. So in my fridge, I have a water, you know, the water dispenser in the door, right? And then it has 2 different types of ice, like the cubed ice and crushed ice, in the door. And I can't tell you how many times since that darn thing has broken, you know, how many times you're like, oh, I'll just get some water. And you go over to the fridge and you're like, nope, not today. That sucker's broken. But it is amazing how fast you get used to, you know, something. And then when it's not there anymore, you're like, oh, how do I live without it? I tell you guys, it was difficult. So the very first thing, I think I have to turn it back on because I turned it off. I gotta get my ice maker going so that we can the little has really missed her. She's like, what do you mean I have to drink tap water? She's like, I'm drinking water from the tap. Don't we have any bottled water? Like, how spoiled are we, right? I'm like, okay, so I put the water from the tap into her water bottle, and I'm like, there you go, water, bottled water. She didn't think it was as funny as I did. Oh, goodness. All right, so this is one of two Dreamcatcher Wolf, well, wolves with dream catchers in the picture, in the canvas. One is a Suniva Meister canvas, and the other one is a JoJoes Art canvas. Now, and one is called Dreamcatcher Wolf, and the other one is Wolf Dreamcatcher. And so I am doing both, and I am going to do them as gifts. And so this one here that I am doing, I am going to do this one for my oldest son. There's nothing on that pin. I put more wax in here just a little while ago, but I am not having any luck picking up. So let me see here. Let's try that. I don't know if this tip, you know, most of my pens, I replace the tips with the plastic tips, and I love that. But this one I didn't, and it's the only pen that I had down here. And I didn't want to go back upstairs because, again, lazy. And so, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to do this one for my oldest son for Christmas. And even though he is here, I don't think he's ever seen it. I don't think he really pays attention to what I do. And most of the time I'm either downstairs or in my room, and we're not in the same area, and when I'm working on this, and so I don't think he's seen it. So one I'm doing for Sean, and one I'm doing for my oldest son, Connor. And Connor is the one that I actually started this diamond painting. Connor is because of the reason why I started diamond painting. And it's been 2 years. It's fully been, I have passed my 2-year anniversary for diamond painting, you guys, for the time that I bought my very first kit. And it was Owl that I did for my oldest son, Connor, as a Christmas present. And yeah, I looked on my AliExpress the other day and I was like, oh my goodness, it was 2 years ago. September 2017 is when I bought my very first canvas. And then I couldn't wait for it to come, so I purchased some other canvases on AliExpress from different stores, and then I couldn't wait for those ones to come, and then I decided to order a couple of canvases off of Amazon, because at the time I did not know where to go to buy canvases, and there were not as many stores that I knew of at the time to buy canvases from. And now, I mean, there's just so many awesome stores that have popped up that are selling gorgeous diamond paintings. And one I received the other day from Mystical Diamond Art, and I am going to kit that one up right away. I really want to see what it's like, because she, the owner, Amy, who has a YouTube, and I think a Facebook group, I'm not entirely sure. I'm really bad at remembering things. I have to either have notes, and half the time I forget my notes, and so I'm doing it off memory. And so if I get some things wrong, guys, I do apologize, I do the best I can. And if I know that I've made a mistake, I will always do an edit error, or mention it in another video, that I've made an error, and try and correct it, because, you know, I want the right information out there. And I do try and remember the best I can. So forgive me if I get some of the information wrong, but the owner, Amy, of Mystical Diamond Art, she is small, you know, and she has got some really nice pieces on her store, and I will link it down below as well in my description. And I had seen a few of her canvases, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then I started watching her channel, and well, yeah, honestly, I had watched her channel beforehand because she does planners, and I love the organizational part of my being, loves planners. And so I actually started watching Amy because of that, and then she got into diamond painting. And I hadn't noticed that she had gone into diamond painting because I'm really sporadic about my YouTube watching. And so when I had gone back to see this one planner that she had done, I noticed that she had uploaded some additional videos, and they were diamond painting videos. And then I started watching those, and then she started mentioning that she was doing a business. And I was like, okay, that's really cool. Then I saw a couple of her canvases that people had unboxed and done, and I was like, okay, now I'm totally interested. And then she had uploaded a video saying that she had some new canvases and had shown them, and then a couple of the new licensed artists that she was doing, and I was like, okay. So I am so excited because she is going to have one of my favorite Heaven and Earth design artists. Well, I don't know that she's a Heaven and Earth Designs. She has got a bunch of her designs on Heaven and Earth Designs cross stitching, and I really like her art. And it's Josephine Wall. And when Amy mentioned that she is going to have Josephine Wall as one of her licensed artists, and that we'll be seeing some of her canvases soon, I was like, oh, yes, please. So I ordered a piece, and it's called Flaming Lotus. And I don't know, when I saw it, you know, I looked at all of her canvases, and, you know, she's not huge. She's not Diamond Art Club huge or anything like that. She has 2 pages of canvases, and each and every one of them is wonderful. She is very involved in the process from you ordering to you receiving. You know, she's hands-on in every aspect, it seems like. And you know, and she's also doing it slowly because they don't have, you know, a lot of funding and stuff, and so she's doing it slowly, which smart, like super smart. And so you know, I work with a lot of small businesses in our accounting firm, and you know, the ones that start off small and don't overextend themselves are the ones that do really, really well. And Amy seems to be following that model, and way to go, girl. Plus, you know, she's a mom, and she's got other things going on, and I mean, and she goes to school, and kudos, Amy, like serious kudos. So anyway, about this Flaming Lotus, and when I unboxed it over the weekend, I did a unboxing video, and I just was so struck, the same as when I saw it online, and I was like, okay, no, I need to buy this one. Like, this one speaks to me. And I wanted to see, you know, the quality of the canvas and the diamonds and all that jazz before I got uber excited about the Josephine Wall, because I I am excited. I am truly excited because I cross stitch. I have a couple of her pieces, and you know, it takes forever and a day because they're large and there's a lot of colors. I think the one that I have has 90 colors to it, 90 DMC colors. It's a lot of colors, a lot of confetti. And so I am excited to be able to do one of her pieces in a diamond art canvas. So that's why. And so then I was like, when I unboxed it and I saw it and I was like, oh, I really want to kit it up today. I really did, you guys. I really did. But I've got this silly cold. I had the flu first and then I got a cold and I just have had no energy. And so, yeah. So I think it is going to be a kit that I am going to kit up. After saying all of that, my goodness, that was a lot of rambling over the canvas. Sorry, guys. But watch for that, because I think that now that I am done my collab piece with Sherry that I've done, I have a storage case that is ready to be filled. And then I finished the Seahawks piece that I had at Sean's house. I have not done very much on the Friend of the Maidens. I've not done much on that piece at all. And then under the bed I have several other pieces that I've started prior to me starting videos, and so I really need to get those out. Like, they're still kitted in the second or third storage thing that I went to, which was the Elizabeth Ward storage case that I broke. I think the one that's under there is the one that I broke. And so I have that piece still to do. And then I have not worked on the little gnome pieces, or the Santa gnomes that I have from Huacan, that the popping drills are just atrocious. So I have that. And then I want to get this piece done. Did I ever finish my story about my son? You guys, I'm sorry. Okay, so let me go back. So Connor is why I started diamond painting, because I wanted to do a quick gift for him. And I wanted to cross stitch a piece. I have a piece for him. It is a really gorgeous owl, cross stitch owl from Susan. Oh, I don't remember the artist's name, but she's Canadian, and she does these lovely wildlife pieces. And I have one for my second son, and I have one for my first son, and they're huge. Like, they are huge pieces. And there was just no way that I was going to get it done. I've started it twice. I have honestly started it twice. I did not like the fabric the first time, the fabric count the first time. So I changed it, and then I didn't like the color because I felt that too many of the threads just blended into the canvas, the cloth color. And so I restarted it again, and then I've kind of lost some interest in it because I've restarted it twice. So, and again, there's no way I was going to get it done for his Christmas gift. And then he's born in January. He's a very early January baby. And, well, actually, he's a mid-January baby. And, you know, I wasn't going to get it done for Christmas, and certainly not 2.5 weeks later going to have it done for his birthday. And so I was like, okay, well, I need to find something that's handmade and, you know, is special for him. And because he's also a kid who never asks for anything. And I'm not kidding you guys, he never asks for anything. And so I was like, well, I know he likes owls, or he used to like owls a lot. He's never said he doesn't anymore. And so, I came across this piece and I was like, okay, well, let me try that. It's like cross stitch, but, beading, blah, blah. Let's see. And I loved it. I loved it. And here I am 2 years later with probably a good 100+ canvases at this point, you guys. Sadly, but true. And that's from, the little canvases that I've bought, that have been $2, $3, $4, $5. And I have a drawer full of them. And then a viewer suggested this everyday e-deals site that many of the canvases on the site are $3.99. So I was like, yes, please. And so I ordered a bunch there, and I have a bunch more. And so yeah, so this diamond painting journey has really taken off. So thanks, Connor. But when I started doing Diamond Art Club and how much I like the canvases, I like the drills, just the way that, that they have some special drills and ABs. And I was like, oh, what in here is a kit that I could do? And the very first one that I saw was, I think it's called Time. It's a Suniva Meister owl with the clock in the background. Okay, I've since been able to get it on clearance, so the poor kid is going to get 2. I might get that one done for his birthday, and then this one I'm doing for his Christmas gift. And then the other one I bought, I'm going to do for Sean for his birthday, and another creator and I are going to do that one as a collab piece. So that's but in the new year, because frankly from now until the new year, my goal is to get some of these canvases done. And by done, I mean like completely done, framed, and ready to go. So that's my story. Now, the interesting story about this one here is my son and I, when he was 18, we went and got tattoos. They are not the same tattoos, but he wanted a tattoo, and I encouraged him. When he was younger, he wanted to get his ears pierced. And he hemmed and hawed and hemmed and hawed, and because he was my first son, I was like, oh, I don't know if that's a good idea. And his dad really kind of convinced him not to do it. And so, he didn't. And I think that, he should have. It was a symbol of independence and individuality for him. And he chose not to. So when he sort of said that maybe he would like to get a tattoo, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's absolutely do it. And I said, let's do it for your 18th birthday. That's my gift to you on your 18th birthday. And so I said to him, do you have an idea of what you want? And he thought about it long and hard, and he made his own design. And it was a wolf. And it's up on his shoulder and upper arm. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It needs to be re-inked. It's been a while and the ink is fading a little bit, and so it probably should be re-inked a little bit. And then I got mine done. Now, I was really surprised when he said that he wanted to get a tattoo, because he hates needles, like hates needles. But I think for him, this was just such an independent, like it was, a symbol of something for my son. And because he drew the tattoo himself, so nobody else will have a tattoo like he does. And it's beautiful. It is beautiful, and it's a wolf. And so when I saw this wolf and its face, I was like, yeah, this is totally, I think, I hope that he likes it. He is not super verbal about things that he likes. You know, I'll do things and I'm like, okay, does he like it? Does he, you know, is it something he wants? You know, I'm never quite sure because he is not uber verbal. So yeah, so I'm hoping that he likes this and that he likes the amount of glitter, because he actually likes sparkly things, and he likes, you know, when he was, yeah, he's a funny boy. And then I thought the other one would be great for Sean in his birthday, and so they will have semi-similar canvases in that, you know, that they are both wolves and both dream catchers, but they are not exactly the same, and each one of them got something that's individual, because Sean loves wolves, and I think that he'll just really like. I have so many, I actually have quite a few canvases that I've bought with Sean in mind, and that I've also bought, you know, I bought one with my daughter in mind, several for my grandbabies, and Little Miss Princess Pants. And then, you know, I bought this one with my oldest son in mind. I have one for my second son, who I hope I will be able to see. He does not talk to us very often. And, but I'm hoping that that's going to change with a dinner, and then maybe around the holidays, if I have something done for him, that he'll actually accept it and take it with the spirit that it is given in, that his mother loves him. And then I have one for my youngest son in mind as well. So I got to get on it. Guys. But the most important ones for me right now is my first and second sons. And this one is getting almost, I mean, it's such a fast, I was going to say stitch. It's such a fast canvas to do. Now, many of you have heard me say that, you know, I do rounds and I do squares. And I like both for different reasons. But I really like a round canvas for how fast you can go on a round canvas. And I don't know why it is that the squares take so stinking long, because you still have to line the rounds up. It's not like, you know, you just plop them down and call it good. Sometimes you still have to line them up a little bit. And so I don't know why it is that the squares take so much longer than a round one does. Maybe it's cycle, I don't know. I always think maybe one day that I would do like a test and spend the same amount of time on each canvas and see how long it takes me, you know, under the same conditions, same everything, and see, but I don't got time for that. I have too many whips to get done, you guys. Oh my goodness. And then, like I said, I got back into my cross stitching, and there's just not enough hours in the day, you guys. And the other thing is that I really need to start kind of purging my house much more for the eventual day that I sell this house, because that day will come, and Sean and I, we do want to move in together at some point. I'm not in a big hurry, and right now he is in the process of changing his career, and it just means that we'll be apart much longer, you know, during the weeks, and which I'm actually fine with, and because I'm a independent girl, and we have a joke in our house, my granddaughter and I, when we accomplish something, we're like, see, we don't need no man, we're strong, independent women. Yeah, it's just a joke, people. But, you know, my daughter is talking about her and her boyfriend want to buy a house within the next year when his lease is up. And, you know, they really want to buy a house, and that means that her and my grandbaby will be gone, though I suspect my grandbaby will be here. The little will be here all the time. She is a big Grammys girl, and yeah, it's going to be a hard transition for her. And so my daughter and I have always said that no matter what, you know, she always knows that she can have kind of a revolving household, that if she wants to stay here for a few days, she wants to be there for a few days, you know, whatever needs to happen to help her transition, we're going to do for her, because that's what you do when you have kids. And that's what we're going to do for her. So, but at some point too, you know, I need to kind of downsize and my house, and you know, get something that's a little bit more manageable, and figure out what my youngest and my oldest are going to do. I suspect my oldest will either always live with us or you know, with one of his siblings or something, but I just don't see that he'll be on his own. He really needs to have people around him, and just so that, you know, he's kind of looked after a little bit. And so yeah, I don't like change, you guys. I don't like change, and my girl keeps trying to change my life on me, thinking she can have her own life. Who told her that that was an okay thing? I don't remember saying that to her. But I'm just kidding, you guys. You know, I have actually raised my children to be very independent, and to, you know, think for themselves, do for themselves, because that's very important to me. And but her and I have been through, you know, absolutely everything together. And while she will always be my daughter, we have become friends. And you know, and she's almost 26 years old, and she'll be 26 this month. Isn't it shocking that it's already October 1st? It's just shocking. And so, you know, we've become friends. And I, you know, having her around, knowing that she is in the house, and, you know, if I need something, she pick it up, and the same for her, you know, that we count on each other a lot. And it'll be such a big change, you guys. You know, I've had her for 26 years. Oh, goodness. Tell you, these children keep trying to mess with my happy little life that I've created for myself. Oh, well. It is time. It's time. And I know that, but, you know, my youngest son, he keeps talking about wanting to buy a piece of property in, like, Vermont or Maine. And I'm like, who told you that you get to move away, you know, that far away from your mommy? No. And my youngest and I have a very, oh goodness, itchy nose, very good relationship. He's a total mama boy. And I'm like, goodness sakes. So we were joking yesterday because he thought something was wrong with his car. And so he's like, hey, can you come out and drive with me and, you know, see if my car will replicate what it was doing. He thought the gears were slipping. And he's driving an older car, you know. It's his first car, and it's kind of a hand-me-down. It's been through everybody in this family. And it's actually older than him. It's really funny. It's a 98. He was born in 99. And, you know, but it's been taken care of. It's been well loved, and it's been well used. And it is now starting to break down, and some issues with it. And so, and he also is kind of a nervous, a little bit paranoid kind of kid, a little bit, you know, that, oh my goodness, I felt this, and so that means that, you know, everything is breaking down. And I'm like, okay, no, let's calm down. And so we went out last night to see what the issue was with the car, and of course it did not replicate it at all. So I jokingly said to him, that's okay, I just know that you wanted to spend some time with me one-on-one. He's like, yeah, let's go home now. You know, he's a funny kid. He's got a great sense of humor. And so, you know, he was telling me about this piece of property in Vermont that he had seen, and you know what he wanted to do for his career to save up money to buy the property, and or buy a piece of property like that, and you know what he wanted to do and whatever. And I looked at him and I said, honey, who told you that it was okay for you to, you know, have this type of job and move away from your mommy? And he deadpan looked at me and said, you know, when I have enough money to buy my piece of property and live my own life, that's when. I was like, huh, you are a little, yeah, he is such a funny kid. Actually, I guess you had to be there because really, it was really quite funny. You know, he's got the most serious face, but he is always happy, like he's always smiling. So I used to tease that he's kind of got a Joker smile because his lips curve up on the corners, and so he looks like he is perpetually smiling, but then he has this weird frown line in the middle of his forehead. And then you know, he's a handsome boy on top of it, and but he always, and then he's got these little bedroom smoky eyes, you know, and so I always used to tease him that he was like a baby Hugh Hefner, and because he was also wear, you know, jammies all day long and a house coat, and oh, he'd kill me if I told you guys this, and so between the cute smile, the jammies, and then the bedroom sultry eyes, you know. And he was a big snuggler. He was an awesome snuggler. You know, I always used to call him Baby Hugh Hefner. And but yeah, he does. So, you know, when he says things, and he's got the best, you know, sense of humor and a great sarcastic wit. He reminds me so much of my dad. And but he's got the smile, you know, and he's got the face, and you're just like, okay, wait, are you serious? Are you kind of joking about it? You're never really quite sure. And so yesterday I was like, what do you mean you can move away? And, you know, he gave me that little half smile that he's got, and his little woebie gone puppy eye sultry face thingy that he's got going on. And he is like, yeah, you know, when I get enough money, that's when, you know, and I'm like, in my head, that'll never happen. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And I will celebrate him and wish him much success. And it just means that I will have to make a lot of money and be able to visit my baby all the time. So, but he wants to farm. He wants to eco farm, and which I think is really cool. And so we'll see. He has a lot of plans, and sometimes his follow through on all the said plans is not always there, but he's also 19 years old, almost 20. Oh my gosh, he's going to be 20 years old at the end of this year. I don't know where time has gone, you guys. I really don't. Really don't. Okay, you just go right there. Okay, well, I got considerably a lot done, so that's pretty cool. So I think I am going to end here. So just a reminder, you guys, I do have a giveaway going on right now. It is the Name My Bat giveaway. I will link that down in the description below as well. And please go and check out Kiss My Crafts and Allie's Craft Pursuits and their channels for the Wolfie, as Maritza calls it, from Kiss My Craft. She calls it her Wolfie. And so she's got all of us doing it. And, you know, go check out their channels to see their progress. And now Maritza's review, her finish. And yeah, and welcome to Jessica. I don't know, we might just see her stuff on Instagram. So because I do know she's got an Instagram account, so you might see updates on her Instagram if you follow her. So other than that, you guys, I think I'm going to end here. I hope you have a wonderful day. Tomorrow is my upload with the collab piece with the review, where we will do part 2 of the Would You Rather tag, which last week was really quite funny. If you did not watch my answers for the Would You Rather, I was in tears, you guys. I was truly in tears. So, and then I went over to Janae's at the review and listened to her answers, and I was dying. So, yeah, go and check that out. I think is going to be really funny. I scanned some of the questions yesterday, and it looks like there's going to be some more laughter over this Would You Rather tag. So, I hope you had fun, got some crafting done, and have a great day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye.